Welcome back, puzzlers. It's time for the Blazor Puzzle. I'm Carl Franklin from AppVNext, and that's Jeff Fritz from Microsoft. Hey, Jeff.
I'll do. Good to see you, Carl.
Good to see you.
It's been snowing.
Yes, it has.
At least we're not New York.
Yeah, well, I'm closer to New York than you are.
Yeah.
And we got several inches, 7 or 8.
We only got 2 or 3 here outside of Philadelphia, so
good for you.
That's right.
Streets are clean. It's all fine. All right.
Nothing to see here. There's no problem.
Move along. All right, let's get into last week's puzzle. I cannot find icons.
Oh, man, I need help with this one. Let's take a look.
All right, so last week I had a server-side app that was global, and you can tell because if you go into program, we're only adding interactive server components. And if you go to App Razor, we know it's global because we have the render mode on the routes and on the head outlet, but that's not really as important. So I wanted to go to the nav menu, and you see the icons here for the, home, counter, and weather. I wanted to add my own, and these are Bootstrap icons. And I remember back in the day of, even Blazor in .NET 7, we were using OI, right?
Open icons. Yeah.
Yeah. And so all I had to do was just go OI dash, whatever. But if I say BI dash and, look at some of the other ones that are in here, only the 3 that are in the demo are included here. So the question is, let's say I want to use Bootstrap icons. How do I get the rest of them?
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was I went out to Bootstrap, found Bootstrap icons, and there's a whole bunch of icons here. And if you click on any one of them, you get the class name right over here. So I wanted to be able to do that.
Okay.
Now here's the way I did it for the demo. First thing I do is go into App Razor, and I found a link to the Bootstrap icon library. So it's not going to be in my project, and it's probably better if it is in my project. So I guess what I'm saying is there's a million ways to do this, but here's what I did.
So you're going to pull it from the CDN?
Yes, I'm going to pull it from the CDN right there. And so now you're relying on somebody else's CDN every time you run. And, that's just one way to do it. If you would rather not do that, you can download all of the stuff and make it local. And we got a couple of answers, and each one was done a different way.
Okay.
But this is the way I did it. So then in Nav menu, now that I do this, I can go back to here and grab just, let's say, circle, and then change it here, right? And now weather should show the circle icon, right?
Should.
And it does, but it's in the wrong place and it's not big enough.
Yeah.
So you can style this any way you want to, but I decided to create a style right here in my nav menu because this is the only place I'm using the icons. Of course, you could put it in your style sheet, but here it is. So I created a new class, bi-blazor-nav menu, and I have all the stuff that I need to make this look right. And now, of course, all I have to do is grab that and add it down here. And there you go.
Terrific.
So that's like the easy way to do this, right? Of course, there are other ways that you can ingest icons and CSS and all that stuff. So that's that. Now, there is another thing that you could do, which is to add it to nav menu Razor CSS, right? So I wouldn't have to do this up here. I could go to the scoped CSS class, and you can see that we've got the icons in here with their particular URLs, right? So rather than do that, I'll just add my Blazor nav menu right there, because I don't want to mess these up either, right? So they're actually setting a width and a height and all of that, and the fill and everything on them with a view box. I'd rather not do this per icon. I'd rather just have one class, right? So this will work just as well. There we go. I had to refresh the page. So there you go. That is the simple solution.
So I like talking about and using the CDN here. This is a common library that folks use. You're going to find that it's on a bunch of different websites. So by using the CDN, you're kind of leveraging the fact that it might already be cached in the browser because they went to somebody else's website.
Right.
It's nice to have that resource, but I do agree with you also, Carl. You know what? If that resource changes out there on the CDN, or if there's some sort of security attack, I want to have my own copy,
yes,
just in case as a fallback that I can use instead. So that's pretty cool.
We've seen that in the past with JavaScript resources that people depend on, and somebody, I can't remember what it was, but they introduced a bug and all of these websites crashed.
Yep.
So I'm with you, and a better idea is to just load it locally. But we did have quite a few right answers.
Awesome. So who's our big winner this week?
The big winner this week is, drumroll please, Kyle Herzog from Lamars, Iowa.
Kyle, congratulations to you.
That's right. They do more than corn and grape knee-high out there in Iowa, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a couple nice universities there that play a bit of volleyball.
Just a bit. Yeah. One other thing that Kyle shared with us was this. Blaze Icons.
Ooh.
So Blaze Icons is a related project that Kyle maintains. It's an open source initiative that offers support for Blazor by wrapping popular open source icon libraries such as Fluent UI, Font Awesome, and Bootstrap into NuGet packages. So when you're working with Blaze Icons in Visual Studio, you benefit from IntelliSense, which provides you with a full range of icon options. And a notable advantage, he says, of using Blaze Icons is that it eliminates the need to transmit an entire font file containing all the icons to the client. Instead, only the icons that are actually used in a project are delivered, reducing the amount of data transmitted over the wire. This optimization even applies to WASM projects, where the IL trimmer removes any unused icons, leading to a more efficient and streamlined delivery of content.
Interesting.
And he says he's a big fan, and thanks for doing Blazor Puzzle. Isn't that cool? Yeah, look at this. You got all the Font Awesome icons here. Got the Bootstrap icons here. Google Material, right? Fluent.
Very, very cool.
Isn't that cool?
And I see he's got a GitHub link there.
Yep.
So we can support the project and learn more.
Exactly. So Blaze Icons. Go check it out. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you. That's awesome. I got to
check
that
out. Isn't that
cool?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. And now let's get on to puzzle number 23. All right, Jeff, this was your puzzle, but I want to introduce it by saying this is a static server-side rendered project, and you can tell that because if you go to program, there's no server-side rendered or WebAssembly rendered components.
No other components.
In Blazor, there's nothing. But you wanted to build a contact form, so tell us about this.
Right. Forms are one of those things in static server rendered versions of Blazor websites that run really, really nice. So I wanted to build a little contact form. Mm-hmm. And this started with me doing an HTML form and setting up so that it would do postback and enhancing that form with some of the Blazor directives on it. And it felt good, but you know, Carl, we have the EditForm component in the Blazor standard libraries. we've got validation messages, validation summary, the data annotation validator. That's a whole bunch of work that I don't have to do. And I can just include those 3 elements you see on lines 10, 11, and 12 to provide great interactivity and not have to write all that other stuff.
And we might add that it requires no interaction. It doesn't require a WebAssembly. It doesn't require a server, a WebSocket, or anything like that.
None of
it
that.
comes with static server-side rendered apps.
And here's how, like, I literally didn't write any code to do this. If you scroll down further, you can see the contact form class that I built to model this. There it is, right? Just a name, email, and a message, right? And I decorated it with our typical data annotations that you expect.
Right.
Well, when I generated the form above, you can see the comments that I put in, and I told Copilot, generate a field for email, generate a field for the message. It generated the first field for name by itself. So I literally generated most of this form.
With Copilot.
With Copilot.
Yeah, I love Copilot.
I changed over the HTML form tag to an EditForm tag, and I tried to run it. And it didn't work quite right.
So you had an HTML form here first.
Right.
Okay.
And I wanted to convert it to use the Blazor
form
for these additional features that we get because we're working with a model and we're not just posting and attaching to the HTML process.
All right. So what happened?
Well, can we go ahead and run it and take a look here?
Yeah.
So there's the contact form there on the left. Click into it. Contact us. So you can key in whatever there, and it does the validation. There you go. That isn't my domain, by the way.
No, I know. I'm just trying to be funny. All right, so contact Carl and Jeff.
Go for it.
Dope. Valid anti-forgery token was not provided with the request. Add an anti-forgery token or disable anti-forgery validation for this endpoint. I thought I saw an anti-forgery.
Exactly. Right? Like, there it is. Line 12.
Yeah.
What's going on here, friends?
Yeah, what is going on?
Can you help us out?
Right. Why is it failing here? It clearly wants an anti-forgery token, but it's right there. I don't know what's going on.
And here's the thing, right? Works just fine if I take it over to interactive server or WebAssembly mode.
Of course, yeah.
But I want it as static so that we don't have things to download or have running on the server. Static runs so fast. So let us know, friends. What do you think of this?
So, Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about what an anti-forgery token is and why it's important?
Oh man. So anti-forgery token, sometimes it's called a nonce, right? It's this block of text that really doesn't have value to us as humans, because what it's doing is it's preventing any kind of interception, cross-site scripting attack on your website. It generates a little hidden field that gets embedded either as a form element. Sometimes you'll see it get generated as an HTTP header. And when it gets submitted to the ASP.NET server, into Kestrel in our case, it's going to validate that it matches the one it generated so that we're sure nobody intercepted and tried to play back your request when it shouldn't have been sent a second time, right? It's only valid once back with the server.
Yeah, so very important stuff.
Yep.
So if you think you know the answer, don't post it on social media, but instead send it to Jeff and me at this address, blazorpuzzle@appvnext.com, with the subject puzzle number 23.
Yep.
And if your answer is picked from all the correct answers, you're going to win one of these. A Blazor Puzzle Mug. And also one of these. A Blazor Puzzle T-shirt.
Nice.
But you have to get in your submission to play.
Yep.
And, keep your mind sharp. Focus on something other than what you're doing all the time. Just take a few minutes and try to figure this out. Let us know. And by the way, if you do figure out the answer, take a screenshot of it running and put it on social media or send it to us or whatever. We'll be happy to post that, repost it.
Absolutely. We want to celebrate your success as well.
Totally. All right, get on it, and we'll see you next week on the Blazor Puzzle. Bye-bye.
Take care, friends.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out blazortrain.com and the .NETshow.com for more great content.